And it's always fun to find something brand new and different and original and spectacular. We've got 2 stars of this new show. Elijah, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Really nice to see you again. We'll talk about your person in a minute. And the gorgeous Evelyn, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
It's nice to see you because I've seen you both before in different things. I've done this for 12 years. I first saw you, Elijah, when you were with Celine Dion at Colosseum doing this spectacular Dragon show, which was just incredible. And you were the second star of it after Celine, really. What was that like?
That was an incredible opportunity, not only to work with Franco Dragon, but also Celine Dion, 2 artists that are extraordinary in their own field.
What an amazing thing to have on the CV. I mean, from a career point of view, that must just be the greatest compliment.
It was a really fun time.
And of course, then we turned to you, and I saw you in Love, which is just so lovely. I've said so many nice things about it over the years. It doesn't get any better. Created by Cirque du Soleil, of course. And they keep you in the family for this new Zarkana, which I've just seen and sat through and been blown away again. For me, there's no greater thrill than seeing these shows for the first time. And of course, when you go back to you kind of know what's going to happen. As unbelievable as it is, when you've been to see Car, you'll never have that same feeling of the size of the stage. And of course, coming to this tonight was so exciting. It's the first new show I've seen this year in Las Vegas. I've been here 10 days, 22 shows already, and it was spectacular. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's start at the beginning. I mean, Cirque du Soleil doesn't necessarily need to make sense. When people say, what's Zarkana about? I've no idea, but it was brilliant. There is a story there is music there is language there. I don't necessarily understand any of it. Can you help me out?
Well, the best thing about not understanding the story is just like you can make your own, and that's kind of good. I think everybody is different in their imagination, so everybody's stories is different.
And that's the idea. We're meant to be distracted. These shows are so enormous on so many levels. There's 15,000 things going on stage at the same time. And that's the idea, isn't it? You could come and see this again tomorrow and you'd see a different show.
That's exactly it. I mean, there's so many different layers and levels to just simply the performers on stage, even the individual characters. You can follow one around and then you could come back and follow a different character around. You would see it from a different perspective.
I have to say I was disappointed in you in the beginning because stealing is not nice, and the poor lady next to me had her bag stolen by you. Do you get told off by the Cirque people? Do the police get involved? When do you give it back?
I try to do anything I can get away with.
Are you ever brave enough to open a lady's bag? That's a place I've never been.
Well, actually, in the first show earlier, that there was a person that ran after me so quickly that I really thought at a certain point she must have something very important in her bag, which really tempted me, of course, to open it, but she caught up to me by that point.
What happens at Zarkana stays at Zarkana. Let's talk about the spectacle of this show to begin. I mean, it's an enormous theatre, and my fear with this show is how do you fill that stage? And of course, Cirque, in their own way, have found a way through video, through lighting, through scenery, and through the cast to fill every second. How does it feel when you're on that stage with the pin focus just on you? Because it's enormous, isn't it?
Yes, I feel very tiny, but at the same time very big because I'm the only little thing on stage and I'm in white with a photo spot. It's intimidating, but I mean, after a while you get used to it and like the public reaction and all the eyes are on you, so anything you do, they're just like hanging there for you to do something, and it's kind of cool.
I mean, Evelyn, you're tiny at the best of times, aren't you, really? I mean, you're very, very small anyway, and that's the point of your character, which is cutesy, and you don't stand any nonsense in this show, do you?
No, it's very, well, I mean, the opposite, like the loudness of my character and the fact that I'm so tiny. I get to play with that, and I can get away with a lot of stuff, too.
How are your pipes at the end of this show, especially on a 2-show night, which is every night of the week for you here at Cirque du Soleil? You must be exhausted.
Not really. I think it's a gift. I never lost my voice. It's good. I don't need to warm up. It's right there.
I could ask, are you this annoying and loud at home? But that would be offensive, wouldn't it?
It would be.
I can't imagine another producer in the world investing this amount of money in this style of show at this point in the economy. Because let's face it, it's tough out there. And of all the shows I've seen, over 20 so far, this is the busiest show. How thrilling is it to know that you're pulling in the punters at a time when you've got endless competition, even within your own company?
Well, it feels really good. I mean, just the fact to know that people are coming and they're seeing Cirque on steroids. They're seeing, all right, we're going to give them more characters, more images, more acrobatic things. I mean, it's just, I think if the people are enjoying it, it certainly makes me happy. as well as reassures me that I'll be coming back tomorrow.
The artistry of this show is fantastic, and it all combines to put together this magical production. What is most moving, probably, is the music, which sort of feeds through the entire show, and there's a great bass line to this show. And, of course, that's what moves the heart, that then enhances your performance and the dancing and all of that stuff. Again, do you hear the same show we hear on stage? Because it is incredibly moving.
We hear a totally different show going on, apart from I sometimes have a little person yelling in my ear quite loud, so it's very difficult and distracting, and she has a big whip.
Yeah, and not in a Zumanity way, in a sort of theatrical way.
Yeah.
Yes, not Zumanity at all. Very, very bossy-like, more than Zumanity.
What they do in this show as well is have their guest artists, if you like, that they put on sort of in between the show, and you hold it all together. And then we get to see these incredible acts from all around the world that Cirque do so brilliantly and stage them on a fantastic scale to see their particular art. And it's always breathtaking to see a man on top of a woman on top of a man on top of a woman. And again, we're not talking Zumanity.
Exactly.
You liked that one, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I did like it.
But it is, I mean, it blows the mind what they can do in this show. This poor man towards the end had got 3 men on his shoulder, and you do have to ask yourself, how is that humanly possible? No wires, no safety net, not even anything to save them if they fall.
Well, there are equally large people that run around. If you notice, they come in and they are there. Because if something goes wrong, they will catch them. And Pasha, he's like the tree trunk. He's the guy on the bottom of the 4 people high. He is enormous. He is just in every way, and he's the sweetest, kindest, gentlest one of them all. Like it's remarkable. It's like complete opposites. It's like Evelyn's character, but in true life.
What Cirque du Soleil do that I don't like is that you make me nervous. You go higher than any other show. You go wider than any other show. And it seems like you're in incredible danger. But of course, down to the rehearsal and the safety, you aren't. But stuff can go wrong. I mean, this is a live show you do twice a night. Do you stand at the side of the stage and wonder how they do it? Because, I mean, it is phenomenal.
No, I mean, you trust people. What we put on stage is because we can do it. And, like, that's why people like circus so much, is because it's like, how... that's a human that can do that, and why cannot I do it? And I think that's what makes it magical. It's human machines. But yeah, it goes wrong, but not that often.
It's not good for a man's ego, though, like me, a chubby fella sat watching all these amazing men that can put 3 men on their shoulders. I struggle with a coffee sometimes.
But I mean, linguistically, I'm sure you can come up with certain things that they could never imagine to...
Oh, I'm fabulous at a dinner party, but I'm no good at Cirque du Soleil. That's the thing. Although, having said that, this is a company where you have all different types of performers. And the one guy I really want to mention in this is the male singer who holds the whole thing together in red. I'm sure he has a title. What is that?
Zark is his character's name. His name is Paul Biesel.
I loved his voice. I mean, it was so beautifully chosen. I've seen many shows over the week I've been here, it feels like 6 months, of people who are badly chosen. And Cirque, what they do is so cleverly pick the right person for the right spot. And if he were wrong, it would ruin the whole thing. I mean, his voice really adds the magic to the whole entire performance, and he literally holds the whole thing together vocally, doesn't he?
He does, and he's a great performer to share the stage with, and he's aware of everything that's going on. He's singing, but he knows, and he plays with it. He's alone somewhere, but he's always in a relation with somebody on stage. He's a fantastic performer.
I want to talk about your physical state, both of you. I mean, you have to be fit to do these shows on different levels for different stunts. You have to have power and strength, I'm sure, in different ways. Just getting through 10 shows a week, though, I don't think on Broadway it happens. It certainly doesn't happen in the West End. What toll does it take by the point you get your day off? Are you exhausted for the 2 days and then you start again? How is it?
I mean, it's individual for each of the people, but I think the most important thing is having some sort of regiment or training. We have physiotherapy on site. We have massage therapy on site. So for the most part, we're very well cared for. So that goes, into giving our bodies a break, giving our, mentally it keeps you in it. And so although it is difficult and we do push our bodies to the extreme, it is not unfathomably difficult.
And then, of course, there's the makeup side of it, which is, again, completely unique. Cirque du Soleil do a certain thing. I don't know what it is or how to describe it, but it's absolutely Cirque du Soleil. You know a performer when you see them. What toll is this taking on your face? I mean, you must need oils and creams and potions.
Yes, it's all like product that Cirques provide us, but it takes...
It's terrible. It's terrible.
No.
I have pimples, and I shouldn't have pimples anymore. But
Desert. No. It's fun to do, like, because we're there when the makeup artist creates, like, she's basing the makeup on our face, on our features, and she's just enhancing it. So it's very, like, you sit there for 2 hours while she just looks at every little inch of your face. But it's awesome, because at the end, you just look fabulous.
And then every night you have to do your own, or does somebody do it for you?
you do your own. There's always an evolution. At first, it took me 2 hours, 15 minutes. I was like, this is not possible. I can't do this. But eventually, like, you sort of start speeding up, and it becomes more of a habit. So, and if you take care of your face, it's not as bad as it seems.
And this really is your life. I mean, it's like a proper job, isn't it? You're here 7 days a week, virtually, it seems, doing 2 shows. I mean, it's exhausting. But I can't imagine any better place for you to be than in the top show in the entertainment capital of the world. Do you still pinch yourself when you walk through the corridor and see each other in this makeup and think, we're in Cirque du Soleil, we're here at Zarkana, and we're topping the charts of shows, we're filling these theatres?
It's a very good chance like that we have. It's a very nice spot that we have in the show. It's surreal to, in a way, be back in Vegas too, because we did so many major theater in the world, like we did the Radio City, the Kremlin in Russia. And now we're here in Vegas in the area. It's a great opportunity.
Aside from the BS of show business, is it nice to be home where you can do this every night and then go home and have a proper place than a hotel room? Because it must be tiring being on the road, especially when you're doing such a physical show.
It's the little things that are rewarding. It's like making your own coffee in the morning, opposed to being in some random hotel room, cooking.
Just cooking your own meal and not having to order or to eat out in restaurants every day. Like... It's awesome.
Like that's it. With your coffee in the morning. It's bliss sometimes.
But again, what an opportunity to travel the world with this show and see it and now be here in Las Vegas. What do you enjoy doing when you're not in this show? I mean, we're sat here in January, it's freezing out. Is this worse than 120 degrees in the summer? What's worse, cold or hot?
Hot is worse. Hot makes like everything melts in your car if you leave it there. Like, it makes my flip-flop shrunk. It's like I'm Canadian, so I don't mind the cold. So right now it's warmer in Montreal than it is.
You really can't
here.
shrink anymore.
Hey.
I was wondering whether you were doing a euphemism when your flip-flops were shrinking, but that's another story. Maybe it's just me. Guys, I've loved this show. I can't say enough good things about it. To see something new that I haven't seen before is so thrilling because you just don't know what's going to happen next. And that, of course, is the joy of Cirque, isn't it? What are they going to do next? They can turn that stage into anything. And with these huge budgets, again, that you don't see anywhere else, anything is possible, isn't it?
It's true. I mean, and just to go back to one of the points you were asking about, how does it feel? On a day-to-day basis, when I'm just doing the work or connecting with audience members, I'm just in that moment. But when I see an image of Cirque du Soleil on television, or I hear people talk about it, and I think, oh yeah, I'm in that. That's pretty cool.
And they are geniuses because whenever you see a picture, you know immediately within a second that it's Cirque du Soleil. Whichever show it is, there's a certain styling. And they've mastered their art, really, haven't they? There's no denying it.
No, there's, especially I would say with that show, like with like the LED wall and everything, like the set designer was really, really talented, I would say, for this show.
And brave as well. I mean, there's so many things to go wrong. I'm sure you have ways of getting around it, but I mean, it was technically perfect tonight. Seriously, I didn't spot a single mistake with the wall or the scenery. But I mean, there are a million things going in a million directions. I suppose that from a safety point of view, you've got to make sure you're in the right place so you can end up falling through the floor or being whisked off into the air.
Well, it keeps us on our toes and it definitely keeps it fresh every night. Because some people think, oh, it must be so mundane. Not at all. There's a million things.
But when something is going wrong, that's the best moment because you get like the opportunity to improvise, to make your show, like your routine different, and the thrill, like the challenge of it, and the adrenaline that goes with it is very nice to have once in a while.
Exactly. Congratulations again. I can't say enough things about Cirque du Soleil. If you're coming to Las Vegas, you've got to see one. It's hard to tell people which one to go and see, but to see something new, and they've definitely taken it to the next level. I mean, the other shows might have 2 people on people's shoulders. This one has 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever they can do. The ladder thing, by the way, I must talk to you about the man with the ladder. The man walks up a ladder without it being against a wall. That's not humanly possible.
That is one of the most unique acts that I've seen people walk up a ladder,
right.
But then to walk up a ladder, put another ladder on your head, and then have one woman walk up that. It's something I've never ever seen. It's completely unique.
On top of a grand piano.
On top of a grand piano that raises up.
Right. You've got to come to see it to believe it. Who knew? Zarkana's here at Cirque du Soleil, which is at Aria, and it's this big new city centre complex. Come in, have a cocktail at the Mandarin. Have you been up there, by the way, on the 26th floor? Isn't that fun?
It's very nice.
I found that yesterday. You must go. Dinner date tomorrow night, me and you.
Awesome. I'm there.
Thank you for leaving your makeup on, by the way. I do appreciate that.
I'm sure you do.
Can we have a photo? Thank you to Elijah Brown. He's the mover character, basically. You're the guy that gets us going before the show starts. And I always say, get to Cirque early. Don't turn up on time. Get there early because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, because there's animation and it's just for you. Yeah, there's a full ambience created before the show.
And Evening La Montagne.
Yeah, very good.
Very good. You see, I have a foreign tongue.
Ironically, it means the mountain.
Evelyn Lamontagne is from Canada, as she said, in Quebec. I went to Quebec last year and did a program from there. What a beautiful place that is.
It is an amazing place. It's colder than here, but it's an amazing place.
Guys, thank you so much for talking to me. It's been a real pleasure seeing you. And to see something new is magical, and of this quality is a thrill here in Las Vegas. Come and see Zarkana. Thank you, guys.
Great.
Thank you very much.